Skaife, I want you to ask me, what's annoying me this weekend?
What's annoying you this weekend, Russell?
I'm glad you asked, Mark. Those last couple of years that I was racing V8 supercars, there was quite a few times that I used to go home at night really disappointed with myself because I knew I'd let opportunities and positions go because I wasn't sure if I took that dive, if I went for that position, that I would get a penalty for it. And you know how much of a racer I am, Skaife, and that used to gripe me. I used to get sleepless nights over it. And I'll tell you what, it's carrying over now, and none more evident than what I saw at the Clipsal race with Shane Van Gisbergen and James Courtney going for the win. This is towards the end of the race. Shane's taken a dive in there, given James a bit of a hip and shoulder, got it through. It was a great pass, but hang on, he's pulled the pin and lets James through. Look, I'm not blaming Shane for this. Shane was playing very cautious. It was a first weekend. He obviously didn't want to try and get a penalty or didn't know whether he was going to get a penalty or not. There's no way he should have readdressed that. And actually, I think James, if you went and asked him, he was very surprised that actually happened. There is no way he should have readdressed the situation. And like I said, it's not a mark against those two drivers. They're both great. No way was out. That pass was on. It was for the win. Shane should have gone for it. But there was doubt in his mind. Like if you go back to the early days, Mark, you remember when we saw some of the battles and all this thing about leaving room, exiting corners. There's no way that was on. And Darwin, Northern Territory, I think you know this one, Mark. Ambrose takes a dive down the inside of you, gives you a hip and shoulder. You've come off the track. The move was on. I think you can even admit that. But there was no penalty. Ambrose did not get a penalty for that incident. So you tell me what the difference is between that manoeuvre and Van Gisbergen's move on Courtney. There is no difference. There's no way that should have been on. Gisbergen shouldn't have been, or nor should he have been even thinking about that he was going to get a penalty. So that's a problem we got. Going back in the early days to what we have now, it definitely has changed. There's no way that a driver should be thinking, or even in his mind, that if I'm going to go for that move, I'm thinking about a penalty. And I can see it in drivers' attitudes. You can see when drivers are having half a moment or half a lunge, and you can see in their driving style and their attitude that they're going, no, I'm going to pull out of this because I'm too worried about getting a penalty. And we've seen it at a lot of race meetings this year from a lot of quality drivers, and there's no doubt about it, there shouldn't be any doubt. So that's really disappointing to me, and especially on the way out of a corner, Mark. Like, you don't have to give real estate. If you've made the move, you can use a bit of hip and shoulder to get these guys out. So I don't know what your views on it, Mark, but I'll tell you what, for racing's sake and being a true racer, this seriously has to be addressed. And I'd be really interested to hear your view on it because you're a racer. You know what it's about.
Well, I totally agree with you, Russell. I think what's happened is that even from go-karting days, we've seen a difference in what the rule makers determine a pass or a fair pass. One of the biggest things is you've got to get down the inside and you've got to be in the peripheral vision of the guy in front. So you've got that pass made if you get down the inside. What's happened is over the years, there's been this expectation to give them racing room on the exit, which is just ridiculous. We've got some great other vision of Greg Murphy and Russell Ingall and myself in 1997 at Calder, and the hip and shoulder and the rubbing, what we're really wanting to see is hard but fair racing. So that's Russell Ingall up the inside of Greg Murphy, gives him a push, shove wide. Then I'm next in line, so that's down the inside. Then there's a little bit of vision of Greg coming back on. This is actually his first drive for HRT. John Bauer gave him the hip and shoulder. Then, check this out, this is Alan Jones. Bang, down the inside, pushes him wide. Next in line's Larry Perkins. So that's the sort of torrid, hard but fair racing that we've experienced over the years. Now, we're not saying that you want to punt blokes off. I mean, Russell, we've never advocated to just push guys off the road.
Oh, mate, if you fence a guy, well then, yeah, absolutely get a penalty. But as long as you stay on the black stuff or near enough too, it should be game on. If I want to see a precision driving team, I'll go to the Royal Easter Show. When I come to a race meeting, I want to see racing. So, game on.
I'm totally with you. So, hard but fair racing is the message. And I'm not a subscriber, and I totally agree with you that you've got to give the guy room on the exit anymore. I mean, it's all lovely. I mean, it's like gentlemen's rules. No, you go by. No, you go first.
And it sort of, doesn't it go against, I suppose, your intent in the first place when you hit the racetrack, a bit of that stuff.
Oh, exactly. And what Russell's point, and I agree with him, what you've got to do with it, Jess, is you've got to promote or incentivise people to get by. I mean, people pay their money to come and watch these races, or they're watching it on Fox Sports and they're saying, I want to see overtaking. It's a big part of our game. You want the rule makers to say, yes, give them the incentive. Don't penalise them for wanting to get by.